Well, hello there, how is everyone? I hope you're all well on this terrific Tuesday. That's it, baby. It's terrific Tuesday. And do you know what else is terrific? You. You look terrific. You are terrific. And together, we're going to have a day of 2 videos. This is video 1 of 2. I couldn't do 4. I wish I had the stamina for it, but I'm just not 21 anymore. I'm 43. Yeah, 43 years old. 43 years young. And, yeah, just ain't got 4 in me anymore. But maybe tomorrow. Who knows? I'll rest up a bit, limber up, do some squats, and I'll be back in business tomorrow. But we've got 2 videos. This video is going to be one that has been requested by hundreds of people for a long time. And I just didn't want to do it too soon, because there was just too much resting on it, and that is my thoughts and feelings about the Band Field situation. And you might be surprised at my feelings on it. And then later on today, in video 2, we're going to be touching on the hex situation, the boom that was Drip Drop's video yesterday, and the cryptocurrency situation. We're going to come to that, like I say, video 2. So let's crack on. Let's get on, because it's Terrific Tuesday and we've got shit to do. We've got to move on. So, Band Field. So there is a lot in that video. There is a lot. But it's making your mind up whether there's a whole lot or a whole lot of nothing. And I could shorten this video by just saying my conclusion is there's a whole lot of nothing. But the truth is, there's a whole lot of nothing, in my opinion, that looks like a whole lot. What do I mean by that? Spit it out, Harsh. So look, what we've got to think is we're quite highly emotional people. We get into a case like the Idaho 4 and we look at everything. We pull everything apart, we've got opinions on everything. We'll go online, we'll look at the victims' families, we'll look and we'll pull things apart, and we're looking for answers because we can't help it. It's in our nature to hunt and seek and get answers. And for those people who criticise us for doing such a thing, I don't really get them, people, because they're criticising people for their natural instincts to basically be nosy, because that's what it is. We're nosy people. We see a situation. It's like I've mentioned in videos previously about, if we're driving down the road and we know there's an accident on our right hand side here in England, we would rubberneck it. We would look to see, and that's what kind of people we are. We're not the sort of people who are like, oh, there's been an accident, let's not look. We rubberneck it. And that's basically what true crime is about. And whether people want to admit it or not, it is. It's about rubbernecking what's happened. We see a situation and we want to know all the info. We want to know the ins and outs of it. We have a natural curiosity to the nastiness, the macabre. It is what it is. I have had an interest in true crime and, murderers and, the Dharma and Bundy and BTK and the like since I was young. And, it is what it is. But there are some people who also have their hearts into it. And when they see crimes like this, it breaks their heart. They want justice. And when they see things going in a certain direction or things not perhaps working in a way that they feel it should, they get upset about it. But anyway, we're on this hunt. We're constantly on this hunt for answers. We're on this hunt for clues. And especially when you're in a situation like the Idaho 4 where not a lot of information has been passed over to the public. And some people agree with that and say it's a good thing. Some people say it's a bad thing. The majority of people who say it's a bad thing, again, are for the aforementioned reasons that they're nosy and they want to know. And sometimes it's just not appropriate for the public to know, however frustrating that is. But there are limitations to that, and I do feel in transparency and in certain cases that certain things should be known. If they don't put somebody's life in danger, then that is information that should be made public in the, for transparency reasons. So at the end of everything, we are confident that the system has worked and the right person has been got for the crime. And this can be laid to rest. Because as things stand at the moment in the Idaho 4 case, if it stays this sort of behind closed doors situation, and with so many things floating about on the peripheral, even with a conclusion, depending on what that conclusion is, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people. There's going to be a lot of people who feel that justice has not really been served. Anyway, I digress. Band field, back to the band field, back to the grass. What do I see? I see a situation that in my eyes is a complete and utter tragedy. Because in reality, what you have is life going on as normal. Life going on as normal. You've got Moscow PD doing something that they did. They were off campus, and they were monitoring the use of alcohol on the area by minors, and they would go into the colleges and they would do talks specifically on alcohol consumption out in the public, and what they would be, or how they would be punished in the event that they did so, especially if they were underage. And the reality is, kids are kids, and kids are fucking idiots, and that's a fact. I was an idiot. You were an idiot. We were all idiots at some point. Some people say that Harsh is still an idiot, and for those people... But anyway, I digress. So yeah, I see a tragedy, because I see life going on as normal. Now, there are elements to this that you can look at, and you can pull it apart. You can overemphasize different things, like the bushy eyebrows on at least one of them. You could genuinely say that kid had bushy eyebrows. If you had Brian Koberger and that kid standing side by side, Brian Koberger would not be the kid with bushy eyebrows. But this kid, to me, in my personal opinion, is not the kid who done this crime or had anything to do with this crime. Now, could I be wrong? Could I be wrong? Yeah, of course I could. When we know people like Paris Bennett who killed, you look at Paris Bennett and then look at this kid and think who's more likely to be a killer. You couldn't really pick one between them, but it is what it is. We can look at how we feel the Idaho 4 crime actually happened, what it was about, and then we can look at these people on this band field and think, do these drips genuinely look like the kind of people who could have done this crime, and are there any clues in this video that would suggest that they did? And I have looked at this video. I have watched it and watched it and watched it and watched it and watched it, and I cannot see anything in this video that would convince me that anybody in here could have done this crime. And I would go as far, and this is going to split the room, I would go as far as to say, what do I feel would be more likely, these kids on this field, or Brian Koberger to be the person who did the crime? And I would have to say Brian Koberger would be my pick over the Banfield people and Brian Koberger. And I know that I've always said about, innocent until proven guilty, and this is still standing by that. But my thoughts and feelings are, there was an intricacy to this crime. There was a complexity to it that would have to have been completed by somebody who was able to do it. We've got things that don't make sense in this crime, such as noise factor, time factor. Yes, there was a complete and utter abysmal mistake potentially in the knife sheath if we believe Brian Koberger is the person who done it, because ultimately he left a knife sheath there, what would be the only thing that would connect him to this crime. But then you have to then accept, if he's the person who done it, there is an element of brilliance to it. And sadly for him, the knife sheath just was a curveball that hung him. And maybe it was just the golden goose that laid the egg. Do you know what I mean? Who knows? And the courts will hopefully do their job. But this bunch of kids at this band field, walking across in their jeans halfway pulled down their asses with their baseball caps on and their shirts half open, looking like a busted reject band, they're not, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, I was the same. We always thought we dressed cool, didn't we? It's not until we look back and we look at what we dressed like, we think, fucking hell. But, like I say, in terms of the Band Field, why I haven't done it, why I haven't said anything, is because it took me a long time to go over this video and make sure that every single thing that I say now is true and it's honest, and the dust has had time to settle, and everybody else has had their opinion. Everybody else has pulled it to pieces, so I can then go and look at these specific things that people are pulling out and saying, look. And like I say, my conclusion is this is a tragedy. This is a tragedy unfolding because just feet away from this very, very normal situation where these kids are getting pulled over for something that they knew they shouldn't have been doing, they reacted no different than any teenager, young adult would have reacted, how we have reacted. And I'm sure that some of you in the audience have reacted as well. It is just what people do. And, you know, I can't see it. And again, the tragedy of it is this normal situation that we can trawl over and pull apart and look for things and feel that we've found things because we're looking so hard and we want so much to find something. But the answers for what happened in 1122 King Road, in my opinion, will never be found on the Band Field. This what happened at 1122 King Road, there was a personable feeling to it. There was something going on around this house. There was something that happened. There's something that connects someone to that house. Something, and you know, maybe this hex situation is another thing to genuinely look at, and you know, there's so many things that are going to happen before you then can't ignore that somewhere amongst all of this stuff is an alibi. Not an alibi, a motive. There is a motive in here somewhere. Thinking alibis. Brian's alibi, Jack's alibi, Spy for Members alibi. Alibis, alibis, alibis. We talked on that yesterday. If you didn't see it, go and watch it now. And wait for video 2, which is going to be coming very soon to a video near you. God, I'm getting good at rhyming. I'll catch you all in the next one.